Good morning, America. How are ya? Monday morning rail. We'll be 500 miles before the day is done. They called me the city of New Orleans. I'm your native son. Hi, I'm Denny Jelsma, and I'm at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. Today is Monday, and you know what we do on Monday? You guessed it, it's show and tell, and show and tell starts right now.
Hi guys, it's Richard. Today we're going to talk about a weight problem. Now I'm not talking about my weight or your weight, which either way is inconsequential for our discussion. Today I'm going to talk about two different kinds of weights. One deals with an HO car. This car is about 6 inches long, and according to the NMRA recommendations, it needs a little more weight than what it comes with. Normally right out of the box, when these kits are put together, they weigh about 1 ounce. But according to the NMRA, based on the length of the car, it may need more. So this car is about 6 inches long, and then you take the length of the car, multiply it by ½ an ounce, which converts to 3 ounces. So you need to add some extra weight. This here is a 1 ounce fishing weight. Before you finish putting the car together, put 3 of these in there. I would use 2-part epoxy to secure it in place. Put them in the middle of the car if they're not going to be an openable car, like this box car. Or if the door's open, put them at either end of the trucks. Now if you don't have these, you can also use these. Each one of these is about 1 ounce. I know some guys who put these in hopper cars, open top. That's because they don't care that they see a weight in the bottom of it when it's supposed to deliver its load. So whatever you want to do. But each one of these is about 1 ounce. For something heavier, we've got a 4 ounce right here. This is pretty hefty. This also comes in handy when you're putting together a building and you need to get into a sharp little corner. Just lay it in there at where you need the tip at. And you got more than 1 ounce anyway on the very corner up here. These little, I think they're about ½ ounce. These are also handy for tank cars. Before you finish putting the car together and you need to add some extra weight, you can take BBs or 1 or 2 of these things with a bead of either PVA white glue or carpenter glue in the tank car, and add some more of these to get the weight you want. Let it dry overnight before you put the rest of the car together. You can also use these little handy weight sticks. They have a 1 ounce, ½ an ounce increments in them. You can just snip it off and add the weight where you need it. This whole thing right here is like 6½ ounces. Or you can use some tire weights. I got a whole box full of these from my tire replacement guys. They said just take what you want. So I grabbed the box out of their trash can, took home a whole pile of them free. This one is 5¼ ounces. Pretty hefty by itself. I would not recommend putting this in a box car or anything as a weight because it's not even. You'd have a lot of time, unless you can straighten it out somehow. However, these free lead weights are really handy if you want to make some weights. Not for cars, but for gluing track down or anything with a large flat surface. If you have a friend with a Bunsen burner and a propane tank, light that Bunsen burner up, put a cat food tin on top of the Bunsen burner, and melt these suckers in it. I made 4 of them. I've got a 2-pounder lead weight here, which sits on the track just fine if I'm trying to glue something in place. Or I've got a 4-pounder, twice as thick. I got 2 of these, 2 of these. More than what I need to lay track with. I've also got something like this. Again, it's lead, comes with a cap. It was used to store radioactive beads in. It's even got the radioactive emblem on it. When they replaced some equipment that I worked with at the hospital, this was being tossed. So I grabbed it. It's a handy little weight that will sit on the rails right nicely and act as another glue piece. This thing weighs, with the top, about 15 ounces, almost 1 pound. It's real handy. I've also got, one other thing. If you have something like this at home, you can put your glue in it so that over time your glue will settle down at the business end of your glue bottle. Don't have to spend time waiting for it to run down if you have it like this. If you don't have this, you can use some Dixie cups. Just have your glue sitting in Dixie cups and it's ready to go whenever you need it. This, by the way, is really sticky stuff. Comes out white, dries clear, bonds almost anything to anything. I highly recommend it. It is kind of pricey though, maybe $6 or $8. Also, around the house, you probably got some soda cans. Now, if they're full, you can use them as track weights. But if they're empty, they don't work so good. You can also raid your pantry, bring out some can of beans, can of whatever, soup. Those work just as handy. Just make sure you have your wife's permission first. If you don't have any of that, paint cans, when they're full, work just as well. Have them sitting around on your track as you glue it down. Or a piece of tile. Now this weighs, let's see, about 1.5 pounds, but it's nice and long, sits on track really well. Even works on curved track if it's a broad curve, but this is pretty hefty. And I have about 2 of these. I got these out of a dumpster near a construction project near my home. But you get these at Lowe's, Home Depot, tile places, wherever. They probably have some rejects they want to get rid of. Ask around. And again from work, when they were throwing out another piece of equipment, I picked up 2 of these. This is 10 pounds right here. And it will hold anything down. Maybe even your mother-in-law. Once again, sit it on the track and go watch a movie. Or leave it there until the next day. That's what I do. I let things sit up about 24 hours. Now what I glue my track with, I've used white PVA, which works good. I've used the yellow carpenter's glue, works even better. But I really like something like this. As long as it says construction adhesive, that's what you want. Silicone works good too, but this construction adhesive holds really, really good. Squirt a little bit on your road bed, spread it out with a spatula or scapula or whatever you got to spread it out with. Piece of plywood, piece of styrene, and then you lay your track in it and set these weights on it. Go do something else. Take the wife to dinner, or not. Well, that's how we have weighty things around Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Company. Have fun, guys.
Well, thank you, Richard. That was very, very informative. And once again, there's a reason why the Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum is a pleasure in running trains, because everything works because of guys like Richard New. Thank you again, Richard, for all that you contribute. Before we sign off, what I want to make sure that you do is that you hit the like button on Facebook, on YouTube. Make sure that you hit the button on like, and Also, please subscribe to our channel. We're growing every week, and we really appreciate all the viewers that we have. And remember, this show is brought to you by Jelsma Graphics. It's jelsma.com. Go to the website and just put in Jelsma, JELSMA.com, and you can shop your heart's content for all the railroad clothing that you could imagine. It's all embroidery, and we've been doing this for years and years, so go look us up on the internet. And that's the way it is at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, where the sun always shines, trains is always a-running, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day to have fellowship with my fellow railroad